Welcome back, listeners, to a brand new episode of The New Standard. And again, I am solo. Neil Coulong is in Vegas going through algorithms and analytics to come up with a new way to figure out how to predict the Super Bowl. And the Neil line is going to be coming out very soon. So look for the Neil line this weekend. Right now, the line is -2. We're going to talk a little bit about the Super Bowl at the start of the show, but Neil is right now formulating an algorithm to come up with his line for the game. Before we jump into that, listeners, please like and subscribe to the program. We have hit over the 1,500 mark. So I want to thank everybody out there who has liked and subscribed to the program. Thank you for that. Also, if you want to check out the program via podcast, however you get the podcast, make sure you do a search for the New Standard and Lance Williams or Neil Coulong, or you can catch the show on YouTube by doing a search for the New Standard and Lance Williams and Neil Coulong. The title of this particular program is The Weekly Short Roundup for the week of February 5th, 2024. And I said that at the end of the week, I would talk about some of the shorts that we do and that I would expand on some of those. So I want to do that this week. But before I jump into some of the 5 most popular, and I'll do it by that. I'll jump into the most popular shorts for the week. I'll give you at least 5 to 10 shorts for the week. Whichever ones are the most popular, I will do a roundup on those. That's how we'll run this out. And periodically, we'll jump on, give you a fresh Wednesday show when there is news that makes sense or when it makes sense to. So the schedule is going to be a little bit fluid, but we're still going to give you plenty of programming. But right now, it's a little bit dead as we get to the Super Bowl. And speaking of the Super Bowl, I want to say big up to the wife, who is a member of the faithful. I want to say big up to the Bay Area. Let me do that again. Yay area. I want to give a big shout out to the Bay. Give a shout out to everybody in San Francisco. And note, it is not San Fran. It's not San Fran. It is San Francisco. So I want to give a big shout out to everybody from San Francisco. And this is an outstanding matchup that we have going into the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, definitely on a path of potentially being the GOAT. I don't know if you could say he's the GOAT at the moment, given the fact that Tom Brady has 7 championships. I mean, come on, man. Like, he can't. I'm a Steeler fan. We're Steeler fans. We're part of Steeler Nation. We hate Tom Brady, but we got to give credit where credit is due. Tom Brady's the GOAT. Now, Patrick Mahomes, of everybody that's played since I've been alive, is on a path that he could surpass Tom Brady. It'll be difficult, but right now, if Patrick Mahomes were to win a Super Bowl, his first 6 years have been the best in NFL history. I mean, he'll have 3 rings in 6 seasons. First 6 seasons. And considering when 6 is the most amount of rings, this guy will have 3 in his first 6 seasons and playing tremendous football. And I think the thing that's most deadly about Patrick Mahomes now is Patrick Mahomes is the best game manager of all time. Let me just say that. He is the best game manager of all time. He is managing ball games this year. And when I say that, I mean he is giving his team what they need in a game in, game out. When he said basically the quote, once we got the lead against Baltimore, my job was merely to not turn the ball over in the second half, to manage the game. And if I did that, we would have a great chance to win. Sounds like the dreaded game manager to me, But when a guy who can put on the cape knows when to put on the cape and not put on the cape, that's dangerous. I mean, it's Superman with a conscience. I mean, that's absolutely deadly. So jumping into this game, I think this game against the 49ers will be a tight one. I think it's going to come down to San Francisco's ability to put pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And I think it's going to come down to both teams being able to run the football. San Francisco has not played very good defense over the course of the playoff run. So, from an offensive perspective, I think they have to take a page out of some of the stuff that Buffalo did and run the football and pound the rock, shorten the game, and score touchdowns. Limit the opportunities and touches that Patrick Mahomes has to attack their defense. On the other side, I think Patrick Mahomes, I think their wide receivers are, although they aren't very good, I mean, everybody's been getting after the Niners secondary, and the Niners have not played very well against the run. So I could see this where this is an Isaac Pacheco, Patrick Mahomes game where they kind of just grind it out and they get juice out of the wide receivers. They get some stuff out of Kelsey, but I think this is not going to be as high scoring as a game as people think. The other thing is, you look at the matchup. I think the coaches are even. It's Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy. I mean, if you got to put your money on it, I would put my money on the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs are going to win this game. I think it's going to be very tight. I think it's going to be a 4-quarter game, but I think it's going to be a game where Patrick Mahomes and that offense and Travis Kelsey and Andy Reid, they come up with something to make a play late. I think they're going to pull it out late. So I like the game to go Kansas City 30, San Francisco 28. Let's switch reels and jump into the big 5 takes for this week on the shorts that we did. The first short was, we talked about Art Rooney II, owner of the Steelers, ART2, being open to trading for a quarterback. See, you guys got to listen closely. When he said open to trading for a quarterback, note he did not say open to trading for a quarterback that is starting caliber. Sure, he may be open to trading for a quarterback that'll be the number 2 guy or the number 3 guy. But notice he didn't say he was interested in trading for a quarterback that will be the starter. You can't infer or imply anything and put your narrative into his quote, Steeler Nation. If he was going to say he was interested in trading for a starting quarterback, he would have said, we are open to trading for a starting quarterback. Let me just say this right now. As we put a bow on this, they aren't interested in trading for a starting quarterback. If anything, they'll bring back Mason Rudolph. I don't think they're going to bring back Mason Rudolph. Now that Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator, and we talked about that last week, and make sure you check out the interview I did with Matt Steele from Steel City Insider, where he broke down the pluses and minuses of Arthur Smith coming again. And again, you're listening to the New Standard, the weekly roundup for February 5th, 2024. And I'm on record as saying I think Ryan Tannehill is going to be the backup. I think Ryan Tannehill in the building will help Kenny Pickett transition to an Arthur Smith offense. And I think the third string guy could be like a Josh Dobbs type guy, or they draft another guy. But I'm on record. Mark the tape again, 9:43. Kenny Pickett is QB1. Ryan Tannehill is QB2. And if that's the case, y'all got to give me a super chat. Y'all got to give me a super chat and say, you the man, big dog. you the man. Let's jump into the next one. The next one is, and we're going to stay on the Art Rooney as well. He said he loves this rookie class, the draft class, the 2023 class, and that if the Steelers make some hay in the future, a lot of it will resonate with this rookie class. And I've said that, Neil has said that multiple times on the show. When you look at this rookie class, Bro Joe, very solid rookie season. Had some struggles in pass protection, but you could see the athleticism, ferocious run blocker. You could see it. Lil Peasy had a fantastic rookie season. Had some issues being handsy, getting some PI calls, but Lil Peasy has shut down corner written all over him. Little Peasy is a baller, says the right things, prepares the right way, steps up to the plate, travels, takes on the biggest competition every single week. Lil Peasy is one of them. Keanu Benton is one of them too. He wanted him too. So they got 3 dogs in the first round with the first 3 picks. 3 dogs. And here's the other thing. When you want to look at it, they got great players in premium value positions. Offensive tackle, defensive line, a guy that could play 3 technique, 5 technique, inverted 4. He could play a variety of techniques. And then you got corner. And to make this class even more special is late in the class, Lil Herbig, a.k.a. She-Big, a.k.a. Lil Bro, be making smash plays. He does his thing. And then you got the Man Mountain, D-Wash. This is a very solid class, and Trice got hurt, and they thought Trice, the cornerback drafted late, I believe in the 7th round, flashed the most potential during training camp. So this is a solid class. This will be the foundation for them winning. And it reminded me of Tomlin's first draft class, the 2007 draft class with Timmons, Woodley, Spaeth, Sepulveda, and Willie Gay. You know, and I did a take on it years ago that Timmons and Woodley, in and of itself, in that second season when they won the Super Bowl, in their second season, those 2 guys brought close to 20 sacks to the defense. Close to 20 sacks, maybe even more than 20 sacks to the defense. Willie Gay, premium position at cornerback, pass rushers. I mean, when you get that type of production from a class like you got in 07 and 2023, that is foundational. That is the foundation, the bricks and the mortar for you to win moving forward. And I think they got that in this 2023 class. You back that up with another solid class, even if Pickett doesn't turn out, you have the foundation if you want to bring in a veteran quarterback to be a bridge. And again, Mason Rudolph is a bridge to no return. Big C, my guy Christian, he is a bridge to no return. But if you can put back-to-back solid classes together, and Art Rooney is right on about liking this rookie class, then you set a solid foundation to win a championship because you have quality players and cap control. You put those 2 things together, hey, man, you're cooking with gas. Let me jump into the next topic. And I did a short on what's the Steelers' best position group on offense and defense. We'll start on the defensive side of the ball. I think it's pretty easy. I think the best position group on the defensive side of the ball is outside linebacker. I think the combination of the 2 outside linebackers, Watt, Batman, and Robin, hey, man, I mean, them guys got about 25, 26 sacks, multiple pressures. I mean, their numbers speak for themselves. I mean, and you throw in Herbig and you throw in Golden. I mean, that position group, I think the outside linebacker group was absolutely the best group, probably on the entire football team, but definitely on the defensive side of football. I mean, you've got a guy who I'm going to say presumptive defensive player of the year. And we all know that TJ Watt is going to get jobbed, and TJ Watt should be the defensive player of the year. But we all know TJ going to get jobbed. I'm just preparing y'all for it right now so y'all don't get mad. But I know Steeler Nation is going to pitch a bitch when TJ does not win defensive player of the year. Y'all already know it's going to be Myles Garrett. Y'all, and I'm not saying it should be Myles Garrett. Y'all know it's going to be Myles Garrett. But you're talking about Golden, Herbig, Highsmith, and TJ Watt. So that's absolutely the best position group on defense. On the offensive side of ball, I think it's a little more difficult. I'm definitely going to say it's not the tight ends. I'm definitely going to say it is not the offensive line and not the quarterback position. Damn sure ain't the quarterback position. So I think that leaves you with running backs and wide receivers. And I'm going to say the foundation of this offense are the backs. But the best position group, I think, are the wide receivers. And that's largely because George Pickens is a freak. He's an absolute freak of nature. You know, George Pickens is as freaky as somebody that got spiked, their drink got spiked some Spanish fly back in the 80s. That's how freaky he is. I mean, he's just a freak show on the dance floor. It's a freak show. I mean, he does stuff that even them ones are like, he does stuff. I mean, he's absolutely nuts. I mean, some of the catches he makes, the high point stuff, the run after the catch with his body frame, his speed. I mean, he's one of them guys. He's absolutely one of those guys. And Deontay Johnson is the ideal, I think, number 2 receiver that can play the X. You could put him in the Y, as the Z. His only issue is at times he got the dropsies. But I think the 2 best position groups, wide receiver on the offensive side and outside linebacker on the defensive side. Let's switch reels and jump into, and again, you're listening to the new standard, the weekly roundup for the week of February 5th, 2024. And let me jump into the next one. It's about some questions that came up about, do the Steelers need a passing game coordinator? Because much of the talk about Arthur Smith was he has a great running game, a great scheme. He schemes the run very well, but struggles to get the ball, quote unquote, to his playmakers. And Steeler Nation, of course, I don't know who started it, but there was a thing about, should the Steelers have a passing game coordinator? And I like to address these questions from a logical perspective. First of all, what is a passing game coordinator? How does a passing game coordinator fit into the game planning? Does the passing game coordinator just craft the passing plays, pop them in? First of all, and what I'm trying to get to is, nobody has any idea of what a passing game coordinator is and what they do. But everyone's an expert on whether the Steelers should have a passing game coordinator. So I'm going to punt this one and say, look, because I don't know what a passing game coordinator is, and because you don't know what a passing game coordinator is, and because we've never seen the Steelers have a passing game coordinator, I'm going to guess that they ain't going to get a passing game coordinator. And that's the wonder of all of this is all of us are experts at absolutely nothing. I mean, we hear stuff passing games. I don't know what that is. You don't know what that is. Your mama don't know. Your auntie and them, your uncle Clem. I mean, I can ask around what it is, and maybe I'll get an answer from some people. I, I don't know. I think what's clear with the Arthur Smith hiring is they want a coordinator who is going to implement a scheme that emphasizes the run and makes it very easy for the quarterback to operate, giving the quarterback clean, consistent, defined reads, not overburdening and overtaxing the quarterback position at this moment, but or until the quarterback is ready to take on more of that load. That doesn't mean it has to stay that way, but it is an offense, I think, where a young signal caller in Kenny Pickens can potentially flourish if his offensive line protects him consistently. The last big story or short that we did was Steeler Nation ain't ever satisfied. And again, listeners, you're checking out the weekly roundup from the New Standard for the week of February 5th, 2024. And the reason I say, and I'm glad we talked about Arthur Smith prior to this, because Steelers ain't never satisfied. Steelers ain't never satisfied. Never satisfied. I don't care if Steeler fans hired Bill Walsh, Tom Landry, Kyle Shanahan, any other fantastic offensive mind you could think of, Mike Shanahan. Uh, they could have hired anybody, and Steeler Nation wouldn't have been happy. Ah, man, they didn't get the guy I wanted. Guess what? They shouldn't get the guy you wanted. They shouldn't listen to me, and they should not listen to you. I'll guarantee you, if they listen to me, hey man, they'll keep not winning playoff games. And that's what you guys would say. Like, well, they ain't winning anyway. Look, trust me, you can't do better. You won't do better. They won't do better if they listen to you. Because I was saying to myself, particularly in the short, like if somehow Kyle Shanahan and the Niners win the Super Bowl and he says, my dream is to be an offensive coordinator for the black and gold. Steeler Nation would be like, I don't know, man. They should have ran the ball when he was the offensive coordinator for Atlanta against the New England Patriots. He should have ran the ball. I'm not sure if I want an offense where a Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, can take a team to a Super Bowl and he averaged 9.5 yards per attempt. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's not really Matt Canada's fault. So I just say this. When it comes to fans like myself and like you that are listening to this program, I think it's very important that organizations follow this particular quote. If you listen to the fans, your ass will be in the stands. Listen to the fans when it comes to, do we sell good hot dogs? Are the seats comfortable? Are the ticket prices too high? Should we build a facade to block all that wind off the river? Uh, that's when you should listen to fans. Is the brand of cotton candy a little bit too sweet? Okay. Take all that into account when it comes to fans and the fan experience. Man, they shouldn't listen to me, you, or any other fan when it comes to football. Because y'all ain't qualified. Neither am I. But I'm glad you listened to my opinion. But my opinion isn't a qualified enough for them to take it and use. Humble yourself. Put your ego back in your pocket. Watch the game. Eat a brat. Spill some beer. And slap a Browns fan. But with that, we're going to conclude the program. And as always, my prediction for the Super Bowl, I think the Kansas City Chiefs will win a very tight, hotly contested game. If the Niners win, I would not be surprised. The Niners, I think when you look at the total sum of the teams, is the better team, has better personnel across the board. That other team just got Andy, Patty, and Travie, and Tay-Tay. It's hard to be Swift. It's hard out here for a Swift T. But with that, we're going to conclude the program. And as always, tune in, tell a friend, and subscribe.